Welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. Today I am headed out to check out the new movie Joker, Folie, Deux. At least I believe that's how you pronounce it, so from now on I'm just going to call it Joker 2, okay? So anyways, Joker 2, directed by Todd Phillips and starring Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga. It tells the ongoing story of Arthur Fleck, the character who was the Joker in the previous film, which I found to be an extremely well-made, well-done character study of the character, the Joker. Not necessarily the comic book character, but the concept of how society could create a supervillain such as the Joker, and I thought it was an excellent film. And the movie was set up in such a way to be a standalone movie. And so here is the sequel, in which I am not gonna lie, I'm a little hesitant about. In this one, we find out that Arthur has been put into Arkham Asylum, and so while he's seeking treatment for the criminally insane, he meets Harley Quinn. And so this is the story of those two coming together. In fact, it's in the name Joker Folie, Deux. It means two psyches with the same issues coming together. Basically, that's an extremely simplified way to explain this. And this film is also being called a musical. Well, a jukebox musical. If you're not familiar with what a jukebox musical is, it's something similar to like Moulin Rouge, where they take popular pop songs and incorporate them into the film to, you know, help tell the story and carry on the narrative of the film. I do think that there was a couple of songs that was written for this movie, but all in all, it's going to be a jukebox musical. I don't know, guys. I mean, I'm trying to keep an open mind about this film, to be perfectly honest. I'm trying really hard to go into this movie without any preconceived ideas, because honestly, I don't know why we're doing this. I don't know why this movie exists. I just dealt with this last month with the Rosemary's Baby prequel. Why does this movie exist? Because I felt like the first Joker movie, and I hate having to say that now, the Joker was such an amazingly perfect character study of a comic book character come to life, and I just thought it was an absolutely phenomenal film. And I'm not saying that making this sequel is trashing it, I just don't know why it exists. So you know what, it's enough of me sitting here yammering on, because I need to get out the door, because it's time for me to go check out Joker, Folie, Deux. Welcome back. Just getting home from Joker, Folie, Deux. And guys, I unfortunately did not care for this movie whatsoever. I said before I went into it that I was trying to figure out a reason for this movie to exist, and even after I saw the film, I don't know why this movie exists. So let's get this started, shall we? We're going to get things started with negatives, then move into the positives to end the video on the ever so important high note. Yes, of course, I know the first Joker film made over $1 billion, and when a movie makes over $1 billion, studios want a sequel. But this film never should have been made in the first place. There is absolutely nothing new brought to the table here. The story of Arthur has been told, it is done, and we need to move on. We are basically just trying to pull as much blood from a stone as we possibly can, and guys, there is barely any story that we got from this stone whatsoever. The whole aspect of bringing in the musical adds absolutely nothing to this film whatsoever. I was kind of hoping that it might show a little bit more of the madness of the character, which it was kind of doing, because most of the musical scenes are done in such a way that it's completely inside either Harley or Joker's head, Arthur, Joker, whatever. It's either in their head. There's never a point where these two are probably physically dancing and singing around in a room at any given time. The film kind of leads you to believe that, but in all reality, 9 times out of 10, it was just caught up in their head. And so in those moments, it felt like they could have, you know, done real musical type stuff, big dance numbers, lots of choreography, bright colors, really pull in the madness that musicals really are. I mean, come on, people are just kind of walking around and then all of a sudden they sing songs that help tell the story of the movie. But in this case, that doesn't happen. It's just like all of a sudden Joker will start just kind of longing, looking off into the distance, and then he'll start going like, I'm looking for someone to hurt me, I'm so alone anymore. And it's just like this really airy, not very professional sounding singing. Like, just, I mean, okay, yes, I know it's supposed to be average people, but if this is supposed to be in their brains and all, why are we getting this big dance number? Like, if you're going to make a movie about madness and insanity and things of that sort, and make it a musical, but not really own the musical numbers and over the top and things of that sort, but what was the point of doing it in the first place? It was just so subtle and out of place and pointless that every time one of them started slowly mumbling the beginning of some song, it just made you not want to participate. It made you go, oh, we're doing this again. Why won't they end the musical aspect of this movie and just move on? Because it just gets so freaking irritating. And this is coming from someone who does enjoy musicals. I am a proud musical theater kid, and I will stand on my hill and die by that. But I can tell you right now that this was one of the most irritating musicals I have ever seen in my life, because the singing was just not there. It wasn't terrible. It just sounded very hollow and airy, and it just didn't fit. It didn't work for me. It brought nothing to the story whatsoever, and it did nothing to make the movie unique. Also, the character Harlequin, the more I think about it, the more I go back and think, there was no reason for her character to exist whatsoever. She just is there. She's just there. So Joker has someone to sing with and do some weird like Sonny and Cher variety time hour stuff. Her character is very shallow. She's given no real characterization except for the fact that she's just like loves her Joker. See what I did there? And that is pretty much all she is. She's just there to add to Joker's ego. No real character whatsoever. And in my opinion, what could have made this movie a lot better was a lot more Harley. Get into her character a bit more. Show the madness of this person that is drawn into the charisma of someone who's a sociopath like Joker. Where did that story? Why didn't we get that instead of just this dreamy-eyed dough girl going around pining over this dude? But instead, and that's what we got, but we did not get a very well fleshed out character. We did not get the Harley that we deserve in this film. The story was weak, the characters weren't all that great, but there was some good stuff here. The cinematography especially was really well done. I liked a lot of the shots in this film. The movie makers did take their time in trying to deliver a very good looking movie. There are some really fun visuals in the film. I brought up the Sonny and Cher thing. That was really cool. There was one visual though that I got really sick of. I swear to God, if I had to see one more scene with Joaquin Phoenix smoking a cigarette going, I was going to fall over dead. Come on, guys. It worked in the first movie, but we didn't need, like, every freaking scene Joaquin Phoenix smoking a cigarette, doing arm motions and leaning back. It was so weird. And it was even in some of the dance sequences and all. But yes, there was some very well shot, well-crafted cinematography in this. Visually speaking, I thought the film did really well. I also liked the costuming of the movie. Even though it wasn't super colorful and all, it really felt the vibe. When they were their character's Joker or they were Harley Quinn, they really did stick out from everything in the background, which was very earth-tony and things of that sort. But when they were their true personas, they were very colorful and out there, and I thought it really made the movie pop, and it also brought another element to the film. But all in all, guys, I would have to say that this was a just very, very bland, useless, pointless sequel that I don't even think I want to call it a cash grab, because I do believe this film cost a considerable amount more than the first movie, and I do not see this movie making its money back. So I am not going to call this movie a cash grab. I just think that it was a really misdirected and misguided attempt at trying to pull another story out of something that just wasn't there. And you know what? And another thing, like I said, I really feel like this should have gone down the road of telling the story more of Harlequin. But what I would also like to see is maybe start telling the story of some of these other characters in the DC world, such as this. Instead of doing another Joker movie, like I say, follow Harlequin a bit more. Give her character a little bit more in depth. Or, I don't know, how about a movie focusing on a young Jim Gordon who's going after some kind of big serial killer, and then you could get something like Longlegs or, Seven or something like that, and still stay within the DC universe. I like this dark, realistic tone that they're doing here, but man, they missed the mark on this one completely. And all I have to say is, guys, stream this out of curiosity. I do not think this movie is something that you really need to see in theaters. It doesn't really have that oomph to it, if you ask me. But honestly, if you're curious, go ahead and check this sucker out when it's on HBO Max. Well, that's all I have for you today, guys. Thanks again for checking out the Film Geek. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you can do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.